Good morning, boys and girls. Okay, so sorry about that video yesterday. Hopefully I'm using a different microphone, and because it sounds like maybe there was something in the wiring because it just went in and out. So hopefully this one works. I came here early. It's still dark outside because I have running club today, so I wanted to get this done before running club so you're able to do it tonight. And I will check it when I'm done. Hopefully it works. If not, I guess this is what I'll be doing during lunch. So today we're talking about dividing decimals, using the algorithm. So let's title our page, Dividing Decimals Algorithm. Now, just like when we did the algorithm with multiplication of decimals, it's the same as if you do it with whole numbers. We just have to either do one little thing with the decimal or move it over. So we're going to do it two different ways. So today the first way we're going to do it is if there's a decimal in the divisor, what do you do? And the second way, if there's not a decimal in the divisor, what do you do? The second way we're going to do it is if there is a decimal in the divisor. So let's start the first way with no decimal in the divisor. So I'm going to take 224 thousandths and divide it by 7. Okay, so now before we do this, I want to remind you of your steps of division and using the algorithm. First, the way we remember it is, does Miss Shady cook brownies regularly? So your D is for divide, your M is for multiply, your S is for subtract, your C is for compare, B you're going to bring down, and R you're going to repeat. So make sure you have those steps written down so you remember all of your steps of dividing. Because this problem right here, 224 thousandths divided by 7, is going to be a regular division problem. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to take that decimal and you're going to put it right above in your answer. That's it. Now you're just going to divide like normal. 7 goes into 2 0 times. This time though, because we already have the decimal, that's like our first place, I have to put that 0 there. So 7 times 0 is 0. Bring down your 2. We got to keep our 0 placeholder there. Bring down your other 2. Otherwise, I would have a decimal, a blank spot, and then my answer. So, got to remember those 0 placeholders. Now, 7 goes into 22 3 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract 1. Bring down your 4. 7 goes into 14 2 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract 0 left over. There's my answer. 32 thousandths is the answer. So here is one for you to try on your own. Let's do 98 and 808 thousandths divided by 8. You have your steps. Bring your decimal straight up and then do your problem. Pause the video and then restart it when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. Let's check out this problem. So I'm going to put my decimal right up there. 8 goes into 9 one time. 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract. Bring down my 8. 8 goes into 18 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract. Bring down my 8. 8 goes into 28 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract 4. Bring down my 0. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 4 is 40. Subtract 0. Bring down my 8. 8 goes into 8 one time. 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract 0. My answer is 12 and 351 thousandths. So hopefully that is what you got. Okay, so now we're going to go to what do we do if there is a decimal in the divisor. So I'm going to flip to another page, and while I'm flipping, let's make our keyword club. Your keyword is going to be club. Okay, so now I have a decimal in my divisor. 5 1/10 divided by 3. So what you're going to do when you have a decimal in the divisor is you're going to make that a whole number. So now remember, to make something a whole number, to move the decimal, we need to multiply by 10. So basically, I'm going to multiply this by 10 so I can move it over one decimal place. So now it's a whole number because my decimal's behind the 3. Well, if I do that for the divisor, I need to do it for the dividend. So I'm going to multiply this by 10 and move my decimal over one place. So now my decimal's after the 1. Okay, so let's write that. I'm going to rewrite it. So now I have 3 divided by 51. And I'm going to put my decimal after that 1. And the only reason I put my decimal after that 1 is usually when you're dividing by decimals, if you get to the decimal and you still have a remainder, you usually go 2 places past the decimal. So we'll add 2 zeros to the end if we need to. But on this problem, I don't think we're going to need to. So now what I'm going to do is 3 goes into 5 one time. 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract 2. Bring down my 1. 3 goes into 21, 17. So my answer is 17. My answer over here would be 17. Okay, so 3 goes into 5 1/10, 17 times. Or, I'm not sorry, not 3. 3/10 goes into 5 1/10, 17 times. So that is your answer. Okay, now let's try another one, because I wanted to try one with 2 digits. Okay, so now this one I have to multiply by 10 twice because I want it to go over 2 different places. So I want it to go 1 place, 2 place, which means I need to go 1 place, 2 place. Bring my decimal straight up, just in case I have to add those zeros. Okay, so 7, and now I can pretend like the 0 isn't there, because we know 0, when a 0 is in front of a 7 and a whole number, it's just the same as 7. So 7 goes into 9 one time. 7 times 1 is 7. Subtract 2. Bring down your 8. 7 goes into 28. 4 times. Drew a blank there for a second. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract. Bring down my 6. 7 goes into 6 0 times. 7 times 0 is 0. 6. Bring down my 0. 7 goes into 60 8 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 4 left over. So now this is why I wanted to do this problem, is because now I have a remainder. So after this decimal, I'm going to add 2 zeros. Kind of think like money. So 2 places after the 0. So now I'm going to bring down a 0. 7 goes into 40. 5 times. It's 35. 5. bring down my 0. 7 goes into 50 9 times. Sorry, 7 times. 7 times 7, I was thinking 49, is 49 with 1 left over. So many times you can keep going, but for just now we're just going to do remainder 1. Okay, so this in 5th grade, adding the extra zeros isn't going to happen a whole lot for you. That's more something you'll learn in 6th, 7th grade. But I wanted to introduce it to you so you could see what you are supposed to do. Okay, now here's a problem that I want you to try. And don't worry, this one won't be adding zeros. 9/10 divided by, 91 and 8/10 divided by 9/10. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Put my decimal in the wrong spot. 9 and 1800ths divided by 9/10. So go ahead and pause your video and try that. Okay, so on this one I can see I have to multiply this by 10 to move it over one place. So I'm going to move this over one place. And I'm going to bring my decimal straight up. 9 goes into 9 one time. It's 9 subtract 0. Bring down my 1. 9 goes into 1 0 times. 9 times 0 is 0. Subtract 1. Bring down my 8. 9 goes into 18 2 times. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract. Your answer is 0. So my answer is 10 and 2/10. Okay? So, that is today's repeat of a screencast. I am going to go listen to it now and make sure you could hear it and keep my fingers crossed that it was just the headset that I used before. So, hopefully you remember your keyword. You'll have the same problems in your, well, no, actually I'll probably have to make a new form. So, hopefully this works for your homework tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Actually, I'll see you in a couple of hours. Have a good evening.